What if I told you that your thoughts are quietly building your future right now? The way you see yourself, the choices you make, even the life you are living today, most of it started in your head. Your mind is like a garden, and every thought is a seed. Plant fear and doubt, and you will see fear and doubt everywhere. Plant confidence and vision, and your world starts to change. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching this from right now? Type your location in the comments. I would love to know how far this message is reaching. And while you are here, tap that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss the powerful motivational videos I share every 2 days. Let us start with something simple but powerful. Your mind is like a computer, and your thoughts are the programs running it. If you have ever had a slow phone or computer, you know how frustrating it is when outdated apps and old junk files slow everything down. Well, many people are walking around with outdated thoughts. Things they heard as a child, moments when someone made them feel small, or times they failed and never forgave themselves. Those thoughts stay stuck in their mental hard drive, influencing every choice they make today. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly felt nervous for no reason? Or maybe you stopped yourself from speaking up because of an old belief that you were not good enough. That is your brain replaying an old program. It is not that you cannot speak, it is that your brain has been wired to protect you from embarrassment or failure. The good news: just like you can delete old apps, you can rewrite your mental programming. Think about when you first learned to drive a car. At first it felt impossible. You were nervous, maybe gripping the steering wheel so tightly your hands hurt. But after weeks of practice, it became second nature. You do not even think about it anymore. You just drive. That is how your brain works. Repetition rewires your thoughts. If you repeat something often enough, it becomes automatic. The problem is, most people repeat the wrong thoughts. I cannot do this. I am not ready. I am too old. I will never succeed. And guess what? The brain listens. It accepts those statements as truth and starts acting like they are facts. That is why so many people feel stuck. They have been practicing being stuck. Let me give you an example. There was a young man who dreamed of becoming a speaker. He was terrified of talking in public because in high school he froze during a presentation and everyone laughed. That one moment became his identity. I am a bad speaker. Years later, he decided to change his story. He started practicing speeches in front of a mirror, then with friends, then at small events. At first, he was terrible. His hands shook, his voice cracked, but he kept going. Today, he speaks to thousands of people. He is proof that your brain can be rewired if you refuse to quit. Here's the truth. Your thoughts are not facts. They are habits. And habits can be changed. Start paying attention to the words you say to yourself. Would you speak to your best friend the way you speak to yourself? If the answer is no, it is time to rewire that voice in your head. Here is a simple exercise. Every morning, write down 3 thoughts you want to believe about yourself, even if they do not feel true yet. Maybe it is, I am confident, I am focused, or I am capable of great things. Say them out loud, even if you feel silly. Because your brain does not know the difference between truth and repetition, it learns by what you feed it. Over time, these new thoughts become your default, just like learning to drive or ride a bike. This is not about being delusional or ignoring reality. It is about training your mind to focus on what you can do instead of what you cannot. You are literally shaping your brain's pathways every time you choose a positive, empowering thought over a negative one. And here's something interesting. When you start thinking differently, your behavior changes automatically. If you believe you are disciplined, you will act disciplined. If you believe you are capable, you will take more risks. You will see doors open that were always there, but your old mindset kept you from noticing them. This is why rewiring your mind is so powerful. You are not just thinking positive. You are building a mental foundation for the life you want. And once you take control of your thoughts, you can start breaking free from the mental barriers that hold you back. Which brings us to the next step: how to escape the cycle of negative thinking that keeps you trapped. You now understand that your mind can be rewired, but here is where most people get stuck. They try to think positive for a day or two, and then old thoughts creep back in, pulling them right back to their comfort zone. That is where mental barriers come in. A mental barrier is like an invisible wall in your head, built from years of self-doubt, fear, and old experiences. You might not even realize it is there, but it quietly decides how far you are willing to go. Think about this. Have you ever wanted to do something bold? Maybe ask for a promotion, start a business, or speak up in a meeting. But before you even moved, a voice in your head whispered, "You cannot do that. You will embarrass yourself." That is not reality talking. That is a mental barrier. These barriers are sneaky. They often sound reasonable. Maybe it is not the right time. Maybe you need more experience. But confidence does not show up first. Action does. Here's a simple picture. Imagine a dog tied to a post with a leash. Over time, that dog learns its boundaries and stops trying to move beyond them. Now imagine the leash is gone, but the dog still stays in that same circle because it thinks it is stuck. That is how many of us live. The leash is gone, but the memory of being trapped keeps us from moving forward. Breaking barriers starts with awareness. The next time a negative thought shows up, stop and ask yourself, where did this come from? Who told me this? Is it even true? Many times these thoughts are leftovers from someone else's opinion. Yet here you are, still living as if their words are law. Once you see a barrier, you have to challenge it. Be a lawyer in your own head. If your brain says you will never succeed, present evidence. Remind yourself of times you have overcome obstacles. Even small wins count. Learning to ride a bike, get through school, or land your first job proves you can learn, adapt, and grow. Another way to break barriers is to reframe failure. Most people fear mistakes because they think failure means they are not good enough. But failure proves you are trying. Think of a toddler learning to walk. They fall dozens of times, but no one says, "Wow, you are a terrible walker. Give up." No, they clap and encourage them because falling is part of the process. As adults, we forget that. Every mistake is a step forward. Here's a story. A young woman I met wanted to start a YouTube channel, but delayed it for 2 years. She worried about her voice, her looks, her editing skills. Finally, she uploaded her first video. It was awkward, poorly lit, and barely edited. But here's the twist. That video now has over 500,000 views. Her channel has more than 1 million subscribers. She laughs about it now, saying, "My first video was terrible, but without it, none of this would have happened." Her story proves barriers vanish the moment you take action. Fear loses power when you face it in small doses. Afraid of public speaking? Practice in front of a mirror, then a friend, then a group. Step by step, fear shrinks. And surrounding yourself with uplifting people accelerates this process. Just like one negative person can drain a room, confident people can lift you higher. Sometimes, seeing someone else do what you feared makes your own wall crumble. Mental barriers are often about perception, not reality. A study once asked people to estimate the steepness of a hill. Standing alone, they said it was very steep. With a friend, they guessed it was easier. The hill never changed. Their mindset did. Breaking barriers is not about being fearless. It is about moving forward anyway. Each time you do, you teach your brain to look for possibilities instead of limits. Momentum builds. The walls you thought were unbreakable begin to crumble. Now that you know how to rewire your thoughts and break through invisible walls, let us take this even further. Because even with a clear mind, your focus can drift. And learning to direct your attention every day is what will completely change your life. You have just learned how to break through mental barriers, and that is huge. But here's something to think about. Breaking a wall is not enough if you do not build something strong in its place. Imagine knocking down a fence around your yard, but never planting anything new. What happens? Weeds grow back. The same thing happens in your mind. If you do not intentionally choose what to focus on every day, your thoughts will drift back to old habits. This is where affirmations and focus come in. They are the tools to train your brain, just like weights train your muscles. Let us be honest, your brain is busy. Every day you are bombarded with news headlines, notifications, ads, and other people's opinions. It is like trying to drink water from a fire hose. No wonder most people feel overwhelmed. Without intentional focus, your thoughts become reactive instead of proactive. You start your day already stressed, scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to strangers who seem to have perfect lives. By the time you get out of bed, you are already behind. Now picture this instead. You wake up, and before touching your phone, you spend a few minutes telling yourself who you want to be today. Not who you feel like, but who you are choosing to become. I am focused. I am disciplined. I'm capable of solving problems. I'm grateful for the opportunities I have today. Say it out loud. At first, it feels strange, maybe even silly, like talking to yourself in the mirror. But here's the thing. Your brain does not care if it feels silly. It listens. And when you speak these words daily, your mind begins to accept them as reality. Think of it like planting seeds in a garden. You do not see a sprout the same day you plant a seed. But if you water it every morning, eventually you see growth. Daily affirmations are the same. Power is not in one big moment, but in consistent, small actions that slowly reprogram your thinking. Here's a real-life example. A man I knew used to struggle with confidence. Every day before work, he would look in the mirror and tell himself, "I am confident. I am capable. I am a leader." At first, he felt ridiculous. But over months, something shifted. His posture changed, his voice grew stronger, and eventually, people began seeing him as a leader, not because he magically became one overnight, but because he trained himself to think like one until it became natural. Another key part of focus is what you choose to let into your mind. If your brain is like a sponge, what are you soaking up every day? Many people wake up and immediately feed their minds negativity, arguments on social media, depressing news, or endless comparisons to others. No wonder they feel anxious or unmotivated. You cannot control everything that happens in life, but you can control what you focus on. Try this. Before you start your day, spend 10 minutes on something uplifting. It could be a motivational video, reading a few pages of a good book, or simply writing down what you are grateful for. That one small shift changes the tone of your entire day. I once heard a teacher say, "Your life moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts." If that is true, where are your thoughts leading you? Think of focus as holding a flashlight in a dark room. Wherever you point it, that is what you will see. Point it at fear, and you will see reasons to stay stuck. Point it at possibilities, and suddenly opportunities appear. Affirmations are not magic spells. They're not about pretending life is perfect. They're about programming your mind to see solutions and strength where you used to see problems. Over time, this focus shifts your decisions. If you start the day saying, "I am disciplined," you are more likely to choose discipline. If you say, "I am strong," you are more likely to act with strength. Here is a challenge for you. For the next 7 days, write down 3 affirmations you want to believe about yourself and say them out loud every morning. It takes less than 2 minutes, but the results will surprise you. The goal is not to just say words, it is to train your brain to recognize the potential you already have. And here is where things get really exciting. Once you have broken mental barriers and trained your focus daily, your vision for the future starts to feel achievable. You begin to see a clear path forward, and that is when action becomes easier. So, let us take this further. You now know how to focus your mind, but how do you turn that focus into real, measurable success? That is exactly what we are about to explore next. Focused thinking is a strong engine. Action is the fuel. Without fuel, even the best engine only hums in place. Vision points the way, but steps, small, steady steps, carry you there. Think back to a New Year's resolution. Maybe fitness, saving money, or launching a side hustle. The picture in your head looked great. Early gym sessions, a growing bank balance, a slick logo for the business. Weeks later, old routines crept back. The dream was clear, but the path was fuzzy. That is where progress stalls, big dreams with no daily moves. Progress rarely arrives through giant leaps. It is built in tiny, repeatable actions. Writing a book does not start with 200 pages. It starts with 10 minutes of focused writing. Saving $10,000 does not happen in a day. It happens with $5 set aside, again and again. Success behaves like compound interest, small deposits, consistently made. Consider a simple story. A man obsessed over starting a landscaping company. He researched mowers, analyzed pricing, compared trailers, months of planning, and 0 customers. One afternoon, he offered to mow a neighbor's lawn for free. That job produced a referral, then another. A year later, he had a full schedule. The dream did not change. The decision to move did. Most people wait to feel ready, but readiness grows from motion. Fear shrinks when you step toward it. Even messy action tells your brain, I can handle this. That proof rewires your self-belief faster than any pep talk ever could. Here's how to make it practical. Choose one meaningful goal. Strip away the pressure of perfection and ask what single step can happen today. One phone call, one email. 30 minutes earlier on the alarm, a page in your notebook. Stack those steps for 90 days, and your life will look different. Quietly, steadily, undeniably. Bring in accountability. Goals kept in your head are easy to edit, postpone, or forget. Speak them out loud. Tell a friend. Take a note on the bathroom mirror. Set a daily reminder with the exact action you will take. When your vision lives where your eyes can see it, excuses lose oxygen. Expect some boredom. Highlight reels skip the repetition, but repetition is where results are made. Champions are forged in ordinary Tuesdays, when practice feels routine, the gym is colder, and the to-do list is not glamorous. Show up anyway. Future you will thank you for today's unexciting discipline. Evidence you are already moving exists. You are here, investing attention. That is a seed in the ground. Water it. Protect it from distractions. Give it light through encouraging voices and environments that match your vision. Build a simple system to keep the wheels turning. One-sentence vision. Write what you want in clear words. Daily minimum. Define a small, non-negotiable action. Weekly review. Track wins and adjust. Cue the environment. Lay out shoes. Prep workspaces. Or leave reminders. Make action easier than inaction. Guard your attention like currency. Park your phone during focus time. Use a timer for 25-minute work blocks, then take breaks. Watch I will start later. Turn into I already finished. Expect detours. A missed day is a blip, not a biography. Skip the drama and restart. The only failure that counts is quitting for good. Everything else is feedback. Carry yourself like someone who follows through. Speak to yourself as a doer. When plans wobble, return to the smallest step. Momentum loves clarity. Once the wheels roll, keeping them rolling takes less effort than starting. Pen and paper moment. Write the vision. Write today's tiniest step. Complete it before bedtime. Repeat tomorrow. Watch belief grow with each check mark. With action as your rhythm, something interesting happens. People notice. Doors inch open. Introductions appear. Feels like gravity working in your favor. Results and relationships drifting toward you because you move with purpose. That sets the stage for what comes next. Aligning your mindset and behavior so opportunities start finding you. Almost like metal to a magnet. Picture this, you are walking through life with invisible magnets attached to you. These magnets are your thoughts, your energy, and your actions. Everywhere you go, they either attract opportunities or push them away. Most people think opportunities are random, like winning the lottery or bumping into someone important by pure luck. But in reality, opportunities often show up when your mindset and daily habits create space for them. Think back to a time you met someone who seemed to have it all together. They walked into a room, and people noticed, not because they were loud or flashy, but because their confidence and focus made them stand out. That is what happens when you live with intention. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate clarity and purpose. Imagine being the person others think of when they hear about a new project, a promotion, or a partnership. That does not happen by accident. It happens when you consistently work on your skills, keep your word, and show up with a positive attitude even on tough days. People remember reliability more than talent. Here's a simple example. Say you run a small coffee stand and business is slow. Instead of sulking, you start greeting every customer with genuine warmth. You remember their names, their favorite drinks, and ask about their day. Word spreads. People come back, not just for coffee, but for how you made them feel. Soon, a customer offers to help you get a better location. Your business grows. Was it luck? Oh, it was your energy attracting opportunity. Opportunities often hide in plain sight, but you need the right mindset to see them. When you are constantly complaining or doubting yourself, your brain overlooks possibilities. Could be standing next to someone who could change your life but miss it. Train yourself to expect good things, and suddenly, chances appear everywhere. People love being around those who make them feel good. If your presence lifts a room, doors open for you without you even asking. This does not mean being fake. It means being authentic, kind, and curious about others. Caring, listening, and helping others without expecting something back is one of the fastest ways to attract opportunity. Networking works the same way. Many dread it because they imagine awkward conversations and forced smiles. But real networking is simply building genuine relationships. When you focus on connecting instead of impressing, trust forms, and trust opens doors. Think of yourself as a walking billboard for your values. The way you speak, carry yourself, and handle stress communicates something. If you handle challenges with grace, people notice. Over time, you become the person others want on their team. This is not about perfection. Opportunities do not come to perfect people. They come to prepared people. The late basketball legend Kobe Bryant said, "If you stay ready, you do not have to get ready." The opportunities you want are likely looking for someone like you. Someone willing to do the work, learn, and grow. You have seen how thoughts shape your reality, how to break mental barriers, focus, and take action. The final step is carrying yourself like the person you want to become. Walk with purpose, speak with confidence, treat people well. Small choices build momentum, and soon, opportunities will start gravitating toward you. When they do not hesitate. Say yes to growth even when it feels uncomfortable. The life you dream of is not built in one moment. It is built through a series of decisions. Start planting those seeds today, and you will look back amazed at how far those choices carried you.